here with Carter and family. Welcome back to today, guys, and welcome to 2019. Hey guys, so I haven't done this yet. I have the controversial parenting tag. I'm seeing it a lot on YouTube, so I thought I would do it. I never did it before because I really and I've seen it a lot when Carter was a baby. I just didn't do it younger, because I really didn't think anything of it, but I actually decided I wanted to do it. He's going to be 15 months on the 9th. So, yeah, on the 9th, but I don't know what day that is. So, anyways, let's get started. So, pro-choice or pro-life. I don't know which one. I'm against abortion, and all I know is I'm against abortion. So, I'm against it. I will never do it. So, I don't know which one that is. I did a lot of research on it, but I'm going to tell you right now. I'm just going to say, because all I know is a lot of it's about abortion. I'm against abortion. Never will I ever be okay with abortion. My grandma tried to get me have an abortion when I was pregnant with Carter at 6 weeks. When I found out, she was highly for it. Me and Stephen were highly against it. I will never kill an unborn child in my stomach. If for any reason I had to do adoption, I would have done it, but no, I did not, and I will not. So I'm against abortion. I will never do that. That is not okay. So I'm against it. So that's one of the two, whatever one that is, just realize, okay? Baby wearing. So yes, I'm for baby wearing. I wear Carter. So as you know, Carter was in the NICU for 11 weeks, and I would wear him. We would do in the NICU. They would do a lot of stuff that you're supposed to do with the baby. So they would have OT, and what you do with OT is it's therapy, like you do. They help you with time because they teach you how to do it with the preemie. And then you wear the baby, like put him to your chest and walk with them. And I did that. I'm so for that. I used to wear him when we used to go to the store when he came home, and I used to wear him a lot around the house. And then when he got older, he started hating it. Every time I'd put him into the whatever you call it, the wrap, I had the I don't know what it's called, but it's not a wrap, but it's like thing you wear. And he started hating it, so I had to end up stopping. But I am for it, and I did it. Number 3, circumcising. Okay, so I am for circumcising, definitely. When I was pregnant, let me just explain this. When I was pregnant, I wasn't against it, but Stephen is not circumcised, so we were not going to circumcise Carter. That was our agreement when I was pregnant. But and after he was born. But before he went home from the NICU, I did a lot of research, and I chose to circumcise him. Either way, if I didn't do it, I did it. I'm for it. It's your choice. You choose what you want to do, but I'm for it. And I just thought he would have more benefits, and it's better to him. And I told Stephen I don't want to regret that decision, and he kind of got upset, but now he's over it. But at first, he was upset. Stephen is against it, but that's Stephen because he's not. But I did a lot of research, and I thought it was better for my child. So, number 4, adoption. So I am against adoption, but if I had to come to adoption with Carter and I had to give him a better life for any same reason, I would do it. But I would never abort him. I would just give him up for adoption. And as you guys, I don't know if you guys knew, me and Stephen, when I got pregnant, he did not have a job. He was looking for a job. And I have my government money because, I told you guys I have a learning disability. And yeah, so I get money from that. But we had an apartment. So yes, we were financially unstable, but we had an apartment. We were getting food stamps. And then when I was about 6 months pregnant, or 5 months, I think. Wait. I was about 5 months pregnant, sorry. So it's gonna be almost 2 years. In November, it'll be 2 years since Stephen started his job at where he's at, and he's in love with it. He enjoys it. And he got a job when I was 5 months pregnant. And so, yeah. But we weren't going to give the baby up. It was just going to be really hard on buying things. We were going to have to do cheap shopping. And he had to have a job before the baby could come home. He was doing everything. Trying to get interviews. He was getting interviews left and right, but wasn't getting hiring. And then he applied for the place he's at now. If you guys don't know, he works at McDonald's. Don't judge. It's a job. And it's gotten us where we're at today. It's gotten Carter a plethora of stuff. We're fortunate to have what we have. He's been able to do cars and stuff like that. Had his own car, and so he got a call after 3 months applying there, and he got the job. So yeah. Baby piercing. So unfortunately, I had a boy, and he's right there at the bottom of the back and place staring at me. Hi, baby. Hi. But I had a boy, but I am not against baby piercing. I actually got my ears pierced when I was a baby. But anyways, but then yeah, that's a long story. I'm not against it, but I would not do it when your baby is a newborn, because that's no. I don't. That's not okay with me. I would wait until they're about 1.5 or a little bit older. And I wouldn't, because when they're a newborn, that is right there abuse. I can tell you that right now. That their ears are not they're just fragile, and that can hurt them. I would wait till they're a little bit older, or a little bit older. But me myself, okay, I'm not against it, but I would just wait till they're a little bit older, like one or two, and I would do it if you really want to, but I'm not going to do that when I have a girl. If I have a girl, I'm going to wait, and whenever she's old enough to tell me if she wants her ears pierced, that's her choice. If she doesn't, then I'm not going to do it, because I don't want me to make a decision that she's not going to like. So, anyways, number 6, breast milk or formula. So, I am for both. I am strongly more for breast milk. I don't, it's your decision. Fed is the best. So as long as they're being fed and they're getting what they need, I'm okay. I breastfed for 3.5 months. He's sleeping. He finally fell asleep. Thank God. He's just, because he had one nap today, so he needed to go to bed early. That's why I put him to bed early. Usually I put him to bed at 8:39, but he had one nap today, so he needed to go to bed. So breast milk and formula. So I breastfed for 3.5 months. Because he was in the NICU, so we did it through the feeding tube for about 1.5 months, and I was pumping every 3 hours. Then we started breastfeeding on the breast, and I was still pumping every 3 hours. And then he stopped latching, so we had to do bottle, and we did the bottle for a good month. Then he got severe reflux, and he had to be taken off of breast milk and put on formula. I didn't like the fact that he was on formula, but at least he had my breast milk for 3.5 months. So I'm for both, as long as they're being fed and it's healthy. I would more prefer breast milk. Breast milk is much healthier. They get more benefits, but sometimes you can't always. Sometimes your babies are allergic to breast milk, or sometimes they don't latch right, or something happens and you have to use formula. But if you have the option to breastfeed or formula feed, I would recommend breast milk. But that's your decision. Mine, I'm happy with the decision that happened, because at least he got it for 3 months. 3.5 months. So yeah, spanking. Next one, spanking. I am 50-50 with spanking. I am for it, but I am not for it. In the sense of, I do spank Carter a little bit. I don't spank him hard. I barely tap him. I tap him a little bit on his butt, and I say no. He's kind of understanding what that means, because he starts crying, getting upset, because he knows that when I say no, he gets upset. So I do believe in it, but I do not believe in it in the sense of spanking really hard and using a belt to spank and leaving a handprint. That's abuse. Don't ever do that. Lightly tap them and say no. Co-sleeping. Okay. Co-sleeping. I am all for co-sleeping. As you know, we did. I first started out doing the bassinet, and then I started getting really afraid, and I did a co-sleeping story. So if you haven't watched my co-sleeping story, go watch it, because it will explain that I am for it. But I'll just give you a brief little thing about it. So I am for it. We started in the bassinet for a couple of weeks. Then I started getting really fearful, because he was on oxygen. And I started getting fearful he wasn't breathing, so I had him actually start co-sleeping with me. We stopped co-sleeping when he started rolling around, but we did it for about 3 months. So, yeah, I'm for it, as long as it's safe. But I'm going to tell you this right now. It is not, you need to be very, if you decide to co-sleep, it is very dangerous and it is very unsafe. The baby could roll off the bed. The baby could roll off the bed and they can get seriously hurt. You can roll onto them. So you need to be very, very careful when you co-sleep. Now, I've never rolled onto Carter because I'm used to sleeping with someone because of Steven. And also because I'll hold him on my arm and I'll know he's there because I'm a light sleeper. I am a light sleeper, so if he moves, I can know he's there. So, but it is very dangerous and it is very unsafe. So be aware that if you co-sleep, you need to be very careful. Carter, now this is something you may judge me for, but I don't care. So the reason why we stopped co-sleeping is because I told you he kind of rolled off the bed. Now, in a sense, Steven was laying on sitting on the floor. In the sense, it was late at night and Carter was starting to go to sleep. He was sleeping and he started to roll. And he kind of like almost fell off the bed, like rolled off the bed, but Steven caught him because Steven was on the floor playing his game. So, thank you, Steven. And that's when we chose the next couple of days to get the pack and play, and he slept in there. So, yeah. And I do some co-sleeping now. I will, if he fights me to go to bed, like if he's fighting his sleep and fights me to go to bed, then I will co-sleep with him because that's the only way I can get him to go to sleep when he does that. The only other time I will let him sleep with me is if he's sick. Otherwise, I do not because he's older now and I just don't like it. Okay, cry it out method. I am 50% for it and 50% against it. Okay. The other sense is if you put them into their bed and it's time for them to go to bed and they're crying and crying, let them cry a little bit. I let Carter cry a little bit to an extent. I will not let him cry more than 2 minutes. The reason why you should sometimes let your baby cry it out is because if you always pick them up or you always attend to their needs when they're something, when they get older, they're gonna get used to that, and then they're gonna be up your hip and want you to do that when they're like 4 or 5 or 2 or 3, and they're not gonna learn on their own that they have to stop on their own. So, in a way, yes. If he's crying and crying, after 2 minutes, I will take him up and I will calm him down. But I will not. Usually, I do pick him up. I usually do pick him up, and I usually calm him down. So there's certain things I let him cry it out for, like going to bed and other things, but otherwise I don't, but yes I do. So, but no longer than 2 minutes because that's not right. Electronics. Okay. So I am for them. I'm not against like him having electronics, blah blah. We did get him a tablet, but and I did try to let him watch TV. He doesn't watch TV. Well, he does not like electronics. He chose that for himself. So we really don't do electronics. Like I really don't put on TV for him or nothing. If I do, he won't watch it. If it's like music on the phone, he'll listen to it. He'll put it up to his ear. But otherwise, he won't sit and watch it. He won't. He'll crawl away or he'll do something else. So I'm not against it. But he chose that. He doesn't like that, and that's his decision. Like he doesn't want to sit and watch it, and I'm not going to force my child to watch electronics or watch TV. I'd rather him not watch TV, and he doesn't. So, next one is store-bought food or homemade food. So I'm not against it. I'm for buying store-bought food as long as it's organic. We bought everything for him organic because that's healthier. I bought the Baby Magic or whatever. Yeah, Baby Magic. I have it in my closet. I should show you guys, but I want to get up. To make homemade food. And I was doing that for the longest time. I would make homemade food. He did not like it. He hated the homemade food. But if we gave him the organic store-bought, he would eat it. But the homemade food, he would not eat it. So we stopped and we just continued to do the store-bought organic food. So yeah. And last but not least, daycare or no daycare. I am for, okay, it's your guys' choice, but I'm against daycare. My grandma owned a preschool, and I was taking him there and stuff, but I'm against it because I don't know who those workers are. I don't trust them. You've heard all these horror stories about kids at daycares, and I'm not going to put my son in daycare. I don't believe in it. I don't trust it. especially because he was a preemie, and especially because I just don't believe in it. I don't, because one, me and Steven both, when we were babies, had incidents, very bad incidents at daycare. One of the teachers at the daycare, I broke my femur when I was 2. I don't know if you guys know this, but I broke my femur. Had to be in a body cast. And one of the teachers at the daycare did that to me. I was going on the slide, and they forced me on the slide, and I broke my femur that way. I don't really know the whole story, but that's how it happened. That teacher got fired at my grandma's daycare, and I broke my femur because she forced me onto the slide. She got fired. At Steven, when Steven was 1.5, he was at daycare, and the teacher grabbed him by the arm and pulled his arm out of socket. So I will not put Carter in daycare because of those incidents, because it happened to me and Steven. And I don't want anything to happen to my precious baby. He is a blessing from God. I'm going to just tell you this. I was praying for Carter. I was praying that a blessing would come. Like, no, we were not trying for a baby, because I was 19. Steven was 20. And that's too young to have a baby. We weren't even married. And we talked about having a baby after we got married. And he didn't even have a job. We didn't have a car. We weren't planning that. But it happened. But I was praying. I prayed every day for a blessing to happen, even though we weren't trying. And what happened? We got a blessing from God named Carter. So that's all for the parenting and for the controversial parenting tag. If you guys don't like, that's just my things. So yeah. Give this video a thumbs up.